Welcome to the Sitco Bros Podcast.
Welcome to episode 16 of the Zip Code Bros. I am your host, Michael John Gallagher II, and we are talking about Kevin Nash today with a very, very special guest, my man, Bobby D.
What's up?
Here with us, as always, is Mr. Adam Jefferson. Mr. Adam Jefferson, how's it going today? We love the spectacles, my friend.
Man, it has been a crazy couple. Are we going to go ahead and do the life update, or do we want to?
Let's get into it.
Okay, crazy couple weeks since we last recorded. Of course, last weekend was Top Guy weekend, but I missed it not just because I didn't register in time, but because my wife and I had the incredible opportunity to go all the way out to Vegas to see Adele perform at the Coliseum in Caesar's Palace.
Wow.
And it was, look, if y'all get the chance, go. She is one of the rare performers that sounds even better live than she does recorded.
So did she sound good from the other side?
Yes.
Of the country, that is?
Yeah. On top of that, the team I coach on, we just hired an offensive coordinator on Thursday. We went into what's known as the dead week here in South Carolina. So we cannot practice or anything for the week of the 4th of July.
Because it's so hot.
I spent the start of my dead week all the way up at Myrtle Beach, and driving there and back and getting tattooed.
Right on.
Two big things I preach to my players are row the boat, which is why the oars are up there. And then down here, I've got the Cody Rhodes skull for do the work, which was his big phrase after he got released from WWE.
Dude, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. 4 hours. Huh?
Congrats on the tattoo.
Thank you, man. It was it's the start of my sleeve, and just going to add more to it as time goes on.
That's awesome. That's great to hear, Adam. And it's good you're doing things for yourself too, man.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, last but certainly not least, my man, Sonny Ono?
What? Oh, well, this is
Oh,
Oh, it's Jimmy.
I come live from Sonny Ano's house.
Live from Sonny Ono's
There
house.
in my greatness. It's been a couple of weeks. It's been a good couple of weeks. Like Mr. Gallagher said, last weekend was Top Guy weekend. I was down in Huntsville, and this weekend, spur of the moment type of thing. Someone needed help. A friend Sonny needed help getting his car out of Wisconsin. So
What part of Wisconsin? Is it Green Bay, Wisconsin?
Geneva Lake.
Mr. Sorensen!
oh no.
Geneva Lake. Geneva Lake.
Geneva Lake. I like it. So you did a lot. You've been doing logging a lot of miles in your truck the last couple of months, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I also, fun fact, actually, I did get I got new tires, new wheels and tires on my truck.
That's because you drove across the country this last 6 months.
I also upgraded from 18s to 20s,
Whoa.
Bet it looks good.
and the wheels are black.
Oh.
Jimmy's riding high.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting up high. He likes to sit up high and check everything out, as Chili Palmer once said.
And
Yeah.
I'm kind of joined specially with Shadow.
Shadow. All right. So, how's everybody doing this week? We like to do a mental health check-in, Bobby, every week and just kind of get going. So, I'm start with AJ. AJ, how you doing, man? I mean, you kind of started telling us how you doing.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I did forget to include this part with the new offensive coordinator getting hired. He and I had a 30-minute phone conversation after our practice on Thursday. So, and I know, I believe it was Devin Dowling of the Kickout Crew asked this on our YouTube page if I got a promotion with all the new coaching hires that are being made on staff here at Lakewood. And no promotions. It looks like I'm probably going to keep all my titles though, but I am being moved from coaching D-line to coaching linebackers on the defense, and the offense coordinator wants me to coach running backs on the offense. So I'm very grateful for. Linebackers are my favorite position to coach defensively, and I've been dying to get some offensive coaching experience as well.
That's great. That's great.
We got our backyard all fixed up, got the pool ready to go. It's been tons of fun, man.
So
It looks like you got it looks like you got a sweet ass haircut.
I got a haircut. I got my right contact fell out on me, so that's why I got the glasses on.
I just ordered I just re-upped my order this week. I just reordered contacts today.
Yeah, same here.
So at least you can see us.
At least I can see.
I just realized I'm the only guy without sunglasses. I mean, without glasses on, but I kind of got them right here. There you go. Jimmy's got to be different.
I do think.
So running backs, linebackers, you getting a tattoo sleeve, man. Adam, life is.
That's on the up and up.
Life is loving you right now, brother.
I'm telling you, man, it's been the best. Besides the vacation that we went on to start summer, it's been some of the best 2 weeks of summer. I've got my mom in town. Life's is good. Life's is great.
All you need now is a championship around your shoulder.
Exactly. And I could, you know what? Come here. There we
go.
So
All
yeah,
right.
that's my life update.
That's great.
Shadow.
Bobby, I want to hear about your weekend last weekend.
My weekend it was eventful. We started Thursday about 4, I guess. And we started setting up because we had 3 stations. We had 3 radios, 3 antennas, 3 people. And it was a radio event, Adam. I don't know if you were aware of that, but it was a ham radio event where we contact as many people as we can in 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
In a field type situation where you don't have commercial power, you don't have running water, you don't have all those cell phones, you don't have modern internet, you don't have modern conveniences. So we set up the 3 antennas, we set up the 3 stations, we got all that done. And we found out that the generator that station number 3 was using, because you can do that, you can use portable generators, that his generator wasn't big enough to power his travel trailer and his radio equipment. So we had to stop what we were doing, run 30 minutes back to my house and get mine, and then take it back over there and hook it up. Then we got all that done, and we went to network the computers together, and the router we were using you would see all 3 computers, then you would see 2, then you would see 1, then you would see 3, and it just bobbled back and forth. So we had a wonky, it wasn't an internet network because you couldn't use internet, but we were using a router to connect ourselves together, and it didn't want to play.
No.
So we just finally went to, everybody was running the same software on their computers to keep track of who they talked to, so that we could combine them together. So we just ran individual computers most of the time, but we wound up making 250, I'd say around 2, I think I turned in 250 contacts. We had like 7 different countries. We had out of the 50 states plus each of the Canadian provinces, and you had to work 1 station that was overseas. And some of the states are divided up, like there's in New York, there's West New York and East New York, Northern New York, New Jersey, there's Northern New Jersey and Southern New Jersey. So you had, several sections you had to work, that you had to talk to. And out of those sections, I don't remember how many there were total. 50, let's see, if there was 50 states, in what, 6 or 8 provinces. So there were well over 60 to 70 that you had to get, and we only missed 15.
Wow.
You know, we got 50 some odd of them. But yeah, we wound up with 950 points. But our big deal was we wanted other people to participate besides me and my buddy. And we had another guy in our club come out and do it. And he was the third station. And we had a pretty good time. We set up Thursday night before he got there, or before we got his completely done. And we did some digital stuff, and we talked to Fiji and Equatorial Guinea and England and France and Spain and Italy, the States, Hawaii, some Canadians, Quebec and such. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun as far as radio goes, but not everything went exactly as we wanted it to. But we had a ball, and we had my buddy's wife brought in, because we were doing it at their place because they have an acreage.
Mhm.
And his wife went and got pizza for everybody, so we had a good meal, and so we did good. I got about, well, my buddy and I, we got about 2.5 hours sleep in that 24 hours.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so it was pretty rough, but it was a lot of fun.
That's great, man. I'm glad you had a good time. James, how you doing this week, buddy? I know you've been doing a lot of driving.
A little tired tonight, but doing okay. Just had the pleasure of shaving Eric Bischoff's head after donating some money to St. Jude. I'm coming in second, thanks to Lucas, and it was all for a good cause. And John Hickson participated in that.
So for our listeners out there was a charity event in which all the money, it was Josh Oden's family, right? Or was it, no, St. Jude's. St. Jude's. So it was so people donated money to St. Jude's, and whoever had the highest bid would get to shave Eric Bischoff's head. But the winner, or I should say the person who bid the most, which was $10,000, also allowed the runner-up and the number 3 guy to get in on the action. And Jimmy was number 2, so he got a chance to, like he says, has the pleasure of shaving Eric Bischoff's head. So now that I set the stage, I didn't see it. Tell us about it.
Now he looks like Sean Connery. The sport about it. But just Top Guy I went down to Huntsville, Alabama for Top Guy weekend, and had the pleasure, had the honor and privilege of getting to hang out with many top guys and top gals. Just soaked in every moment I could, and got to participate in some things that if you're part of Ad-Free shows, you'll get to know. But if not, sign up now. It was just a wonderful experience to do.
Jimmy's PSA.
Huh?
Jimmy's PSA for being a top guy.
That's right. Top guy, shield.
Top guy shit. Top guy shit. Top guy shit.
TGS. So for those of you watching at home, we have 4 top guys in the group. So we got brand new one, AJ. Top Guy weekend was last weekend. I unfortunately was not able to attend Top Guy weekend, and it killed me. However, next year, cannot wait to attend with my friend Adam Jefferson.
I'm looking forward to it. Keeping my fingers crossed that it just lines up with football season. That's all I can pray for.
And now this weekend, spur of the moment, I'm here at Sonny-Ono's house again.
I love it. Jimmy, it's great to see you in a good mood.
Yeah. Things happened that I'm not going to get into detail, but some I'm just a little exhausted, that's all, from driving.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you being on the show in spite of that. So thank you, my friend. Me personally, I'm doing pretty well. I've had a good week of work. Work's been a little stressful lately. I started a new position that I don't really know what I'm doing. So there's a huge learning curve for me, and I'm very much, if I don't get the job right away, I feel like I'm never going to get it, rather than let like you said, Adam, do the work.
Mhm.
Do the work, be patient.
Do the work, put the time in, and just do what you're supposed to be doing. So I did that this week. I put the work in, and my mind's a lot less anxious than it was last week. I got to spend the week with my kids, so that was really awesome. I talked to Jimmy the other day. We had a nice little heart to heart. I was talking about
Thanks.
some extracurricular activities that I probably should be cutting out, just because of, it's interfering with being a good dad and being a good person and just being a good Christian.
And unfortunately, I threatened him if he doesn't knock his stuff off, I'm gonna take that shiny belt that he has on under his right side and shine that sucker up real nice. Turn it sideways and hit and belt shot him with the head and to knock some sense back into him.
Hmm.
I believe his exact words are, knock the shit off.
Send it out.
So I feel a little bit clearer up here this week. So I'm having a good week, a lot better than last week. So thank you. So next, what we usually do, Mr. Bobby, is we do a week in pro wrestling. So AJ, what you got for us?
I've got a light list, but a very significant list at the same time.
All right.
Let's start off with June 25th, 2006. D-Generation X reunites with Shawn Michaels and Triple H. June 26, 1990, the Road Warriors are repackaged and make their WWF debut as the Legion of Doom. Also on June 26, just 10 years later in 2000, Mick Foley is named the WWF Commissioner by Shawn Michaels. June 28th, 1998, Mankind and The Undertaker have their infamous Hell in a Cell match. July 1st, 1991, Ric Flair is famously stripped of the WCW title, which of course led to him going to the WWF and ultimately winning the 92 Royal Rumble. And then July 1st, 2002, Jeff Hardy and The Undertaker have their ladder match for the Undisputed Championship with Jim Ross's famous call. Jeff Hardy saying, "You haven't broken me, I'm still standing," and getting the handshake of respect at the end of the match.
That was great. I remember watching that match live.
Oh, I did not get to watch it live, but it's definitely, I think they did like a best of ladder matches DVD that was on there.
But that was something. I mean, you got to see, Jeff Hardy was a guy like, think Jungle Boy, right? Think Jungle Boy, just that kind of popularity, right? Not quite where Jeff Hardy is now, but he was at that Jungle Boy spot where, and the Undertaker made him famous.
And famous, and you can actually say Undertaker competed in an actual just a ladder match.
Yeah.
Just a ladder match, not TLC, actual just one thing, one ladder.
As far as birthdays go, Layla was born June 25th, 1977. John Heidenreich, June 28th, 1972. Cody Rhodes, your favorite AEW founder and mine, June 29th, 1985. Dax Harwood, June 30th, 1984.
Well, let's throw respect to him.
Mhm.
Oh, there you go. I have that shirt somewhere.
I have the red TNT title in my truck, but
Awesome. Yeah, Bobby, Jimmy, and I, we all got, and Michael, we all got Cody Rhodes t-shirts, and we wore them to the Rumble.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Final birthday, Terry Funk, June 30th, 1944.
And can we do a moment of silence, please?
Oh, yes, that's right. Draws passed away today.
Oh, did he?
Yep, I saw that while I was getting my tattoo.
Oh, that's a bummer.
At the age of 54.
All right. Oh, that's a bummer. So, shout out to Draws and his family. Jeez.
Well, on a brighter side of things, now he can use all of his phalanges, all of his ligaments up in heaven.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. All right. Any more Anything else for us, AJ?
That is it for our week in pro wrestling and pro wrestling birthdays.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much. Well, now our favorite part of the show is our wrestler spotlight. And our wrestler today is Bobby, who?
Big sexy Kevin Nash.
Oh, right. I love it. So we
Big
just
Daddy
kind of like to
Cool.
bounce around but we will start with the reason why we have Bobby on is not only is he the man, but he's a huge Kevin Nash fan. And I would love to just kind of pick your brain, just kind of how what about Kevin Nash is makes him your boy?
Well, I mean, when I started really watching wrestling, when I got into college and I have a fraternity brother that was a roommate of mine my last couple of years of college, and he turned me on to it. He said, "Hey, let's watch WCW Nitro." I'm like, "What the heck is that?" And he said, "Well, it's professional wrestling, Hulk Hogan and all that." And I said, "All right, I'll watch it." And, I don't care. I don't have, I didn't have a dog in the hunt, so to speak. And I sat down and watched it, and sure enough, and I knew who Hulk Hogan was. I knew he was red and yellow, and he was a good guy and all that. And we turned this on, and this is like late '96, after the NWO had formed, and I'm seeing him walk into the ring in black, and you're like, what is he doing? Like most other people, what is Hulk Hogan doing wearing black? And then you see him get up in the ring, and he's, and I think it was it was one of the Disney MGM tapings where Nash and Hall were in the ring. I think they were beating up on either Boss Man or Luger, and Hogan comes down after he'd been doing movies, I guess, and he comes down to the ring, and he's wearing that black shirt with the necklace with the cross on it, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see what this does. And he gets in the ring. Of course, they're beating the snot out of everybody, and I'm like, man, this is really cool to watch. I've never seen stuff like this. And of course, Kevin's in the ring, and he's 6'10" and 300 pounds. I'm like, who's that big guy? And so that kind of turned me on to him. And then I watched him every week after that. And we'd order every pay-per-view, and we'd buy pizza, and we'd invite people over, and do what college kids did in their 20s. And
Yeah,
that's where it all started.
Wait. College kids watch wrestling?
oh hell yeah,
Oh yeah. You ever heard of nitro parties?
oh heck yeah. When I was in college, all my buddies watched wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go to the Coliseum 3 times a year to go watch Raw and Nitro.
Oh,
Well,
gosh.
you guys are lucky.
Yeah, we never went to watch a show, but we would watch it on TV, and we'd buy the pay-per-views.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was at the Nitro where Russo won the title at the Coliseum.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I can still remember in my mind's eye Goldberg spearing him through the cage.
Yes.
Like I still remember, like I still can see like in front of me, like so it was pretty cool.
Well, I bet that was cool to see that racist prick get his comeuppance.
Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the fastest rising segment in all of podcasting. He doesn't know I did the intro. Here he comes, Mr. Ben Jones. There he is.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hey, Ben.
Bobby.
I was just putting you over.
Oh, what did you say? Or do I have to watch it back?
You know what? You're going to have to go back and watch it during the edit.
Okay, that's fine. And we're joined by Sonny Ono, I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Sonny, for being here.
So Jimmy is actually at Sonny Ono's house.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry, it's been a long day.
Very cool. How's the episode going so far?
So far, so good. We just started talking about Kevin Nash, so just in time for your boy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Back when Kevin beat Bret Hart.
Yes.
Over and over and over like a red girl.
You did.
So one of the things we like to do is the best version of Kevin Nash. So Bobby, I want to go back to what you were saying before we get into the next one, because I was interested and I wanted to ask you a question. Was that when you started watching wrestling, or had you been a fan and maybe just been a lapsed fan and went back into it?
No, that was pretty much the start. Growing up, we never had, we couldn't afford cable. And so we didn't get USA or TBS or any of that. So there was no real exposure to it until college.
Your college tuition paid for the cable for you to watch night.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, not tuition, but
I'm making the joke of
yeah,
you being there paid for the electricity.
Yeah.
part of my student loans that I paid back a couple of years ago.
Seriously, man. Those things are crazy.
Yeah.
So the best version of Kevin Nash, we got, as far as I can tell, we got Diesel, we got the NWO Nash. Well, I'll call, you can go Wolfpack Nash, just the whole version of him in WCW, because I would say his character was mostly the same. And then you got the main event Mafia Kevin Nash, and then you got the X Division Kevin Nash.
Well, don't forget Oz and Vinny Vegas.
Well, I said the best versions of Kevin Nash. We're gonna get to the worst versions of Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
What about the Kings of Wrestling Kevin Nash?
Who Kings of Wrestling? Which ones? Oh, and are you talking about TNA when they first got there?
TNA's version of the NWO.
Again, I said the best versions of Kevin Nash.
Hey, that was actually pretty good because Jeff Jarrett's a Horseman. You had Scott Hall, who was actually kind of somewhat level-headed sometime when it was there for the 04, because they had Randy Savage's last match.
They did. They did.
Correct.
You are correct, sir. They did. So we just kind of hop around. I mean, Bobby, I think you just kind of told us yours, but I would say who's your favorite version of Kevin Nash?
I'm probably I didn't see the Diesel. I mean, he came in 90 to WCW and did the Vinny Vegas or the Oz and the Vinny Vegas gimmicks. And then he went to WWF in 93 and did the Diesel thing, but he was the bodyguard. He was the silent bodyguard for a while up until
94.
Up until one of the pay-per-views or so. I'd have to do the research, but
so it's not a history lesson, my friend.
Version, yeah. As far as the favorite version of Kevin, I would say it was the NWO Kevin Nash.
Yeah. What about you, James?
So I was more exposed to him in TNA than I was anything else. So, and I got into TNA 6-7. So that whole time frame and all the way up to when he left in 2010, I think it was. When it was his last year when he was in TNA. That was really the only time I really got to see Kevin wrestle per se, or being, because everything else preceded me. I guess main event Mafia.
All right.
Yeah.
AJ, what about you? When we two questions, your favorite version, but when were you, being a younger fan, when were you first introduced to Kevin Nash?
Roughly around the same time Jimmy was. I more remember when him, Scott Hall, and Eric Young had a group together at TNA.
Okay.
But my favorite version is NWO Wolfpack. I feel like that's when the more smart-ass version of him started coming across on TV. And as I've been going through WCW on Peacock, really, really enjoyed NWO Wolfpack Nash.
That's awesome. What about you, Ben? What's your favorite version of Kevin Nash, if you have one?
Ooh, tough.
Why is that tough?
Probably the original Diesel run, just because he was able to carry the belt there a little while during such a bad time in the business. But also he had some great matches against Brett, Shawn, and Taker. And Yeah, I'd say probably that era.
I'm gonna agree
But
with
probably
you.
athletically, he was at his best there.
So, Mr. Gallagher, what's your favorite?
I'm gonna agree with them. My favorite version is Diesel because that's what I grew up with. But again, I think he had his best matches as Diesel from 93 to 95 or 94 to 96.
No, we threw. You know,
I'd say end of 93 to mid, and I would say mid 93 to mid 96 when he left, until he left WWE.
so that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
But again, like you said, like Ben was saying, Taker and Brett and Sean, and he had some good. I mean, he had some. I got some matches we'll talk about in a second too. But I think most of the matches I remember him from, and then, this is actually a great segue into the next segment. The next thing about Nash is, I think what I remember most about Nash is the Diesel spot in the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
That and then the backstage with Rocky in 02.
Oh, absolutely. That we all do all the time.
That we do. And I mean, I wish Kevin Nash would have powerbombed. Like was because he would left just right before the Attitude Era began, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, if he would have had that little more of an edge in the Attitude Era, he would have been a top player.
He was. I mean, he was though.
No,
He was just in the other company.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying he would have been a top player for Vince.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yep.
Like,
But
that
WWF
character-
wasn't ready for that yet.
No.
I'm saying if Kevin would have stayed, kicked Bret Hart's ass every week, and then he would have been up here more than Bret, and we would have had to have the Montreal Screwjob.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah, there's a lot of what ifs there.
Yeah, that's an interesting point of view. And when we talk about our fantasy booking, because we always do our fantasy booking later on, maybe we talk about, hey, what do we think would have happened if Kevin Nash didn't leave WWE? I got a great question for you guys, since we're just popcorning it. Is Kevin Nash as big a star if he doesn't go over to WCW? Because I think he became an even bigger star when he left to go to WCW.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think so.
I agree with you.
I don't think not even close, because they came to WCW, and just like the premise of the NWO, Eric has said it several times on 83 Weeks. They came to WCW. They weren't treated fairly. They weren't given the proper push that they should have gotten. They left. They went to WWF. They became big stars. They left there because of the guaranteed money and the lighter schedule. They came back to WCW and became bigger stars.
And
I just think that of course, it's kind of a snowball deal, because without Kevin Nash, there's no Diesel. Without Diesel,
Right.
Kevin Nash. I mean, it's a circle. But
and then also on top of that too, you got what was the February pay-per-view of '96?
Was it in your house or?
Yeah, in your house.
Yeah. Yep.
You had Bret Crybaby Hart
Yep.
making it all about him, and then Taker saying, "It's not fucking about you, Bret."
Is that what he said? Wow.
Yeah. Kevin Nash has said that. He said Mark stood up, and Mark never says anything. And he stood up and said that to Bret. He said, "It's not about you. Yeah, it's about me and Kevin's match being better. You losing to Kevin because I interfere doesn't go against you. That doesn't hurt you at all." But Bret wouldn't take the finish, so Kevin walked in and he talked to Scott. He talked to Scott, and he goes, "I'm going to call WCW and see what they can get me." And he was done after In Your House 6. He was done
because of Bret Hart's selfishness.
Yep.
I think he was just tired of politics. I don't think.
Well, and Tristan was on the way. I mean, she was like 8 months pregnant at that point.
But Kevin really didn't want to leave, but he was so sick and tired of Bret's crybabyiness.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to,
I think it's like Bob said, is the politics, which is ironic given what he'll talk about on his podcast from time to time.
Yeah.
His politics were wrong, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's just my opinion. My opinion alone.
We're not going to talk about his politics.
But
I'm
it's
just giving how I feel about him. That's all.
it's more ring politics though. It's more business politics that
Yeah.
yeah.
he was playing.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys think about the NWO when it came back?
Mm,
And the WWE in 2002.
The poison.
What do you think of that little version of Nash?
the poison.
The poison, exactly.
I think it was weaker. I think it was less than, just because, they weren't allowed to just run in and do things. They weren't allowed to just run roughshod over them.
I feel like it. I personally feel like it could have been stronger if we didn't have the invasion angle in 01 when they let the Turner contracts expire at the end of 01. Like we get those big money names towards the end, and we build it at Survivor Series or the night after Survivor Series, because like you had Flair, Consortium, all that jazz. I mean, I feel like that would have been so much better way to start it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The problem I had with that was that everything was built up for the NWO to come in, whereas when Scott Hall went to WCW, nobody knew. So they could have just brought them in as a surprise.
Yeah, he walked down through the crowd, and Eric told him to do that.
Yeah. But whereas when they came to WWE, Vince did that whole promo about he's going to bring them in, and we all knew that they were coming. So
Yeah.
it didn't have the same feel.
Well, and then when they came to the pay-per-view, they walked right down the ramp.
Yeah.
I mean, there was those semi trucks on either side, and the no way out and all of that, and here they come walking.
Yep.
It was less than.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
To piggyback off what Jimmy was talking about, if we had waited off the invasion storyline until they were contractually able to join, a story I've heard is Vince was going to keep WCW, in business technically. It was still going to be on TNT and all that. And then he was going to do storylines of like Stone Cold walking out and joining WCW. And the reason that didn't happen is because the contract he signed with TNN for SmackDown, or Spike, whichever, stated that he couldn't do a wrestling show on any other network. So he couldn't keep WCW on TNT without violating that contract. And that's why a lot of those plans also went kaput.
Yeah, he also didn't get guys like Sting and Luger and Goldberg and Booker T at the time was, obviously now he's considered one of the biggest stars, but at the time he was the biggest guy, and
it was him.
Yeah, that was a tough one. But if you think about it, I think what Adam was saying first, it kind of got my mind going. Like, what if they did an invasion angle when those guys are contracted, and the NWO were the guys who invaded the WWE? Like, they're coming back. That all right? Well, we already did that. We ran this one out of business. Well, I'm going to run you out of business now. We're pretty cool.
I feel like that would have been stronger. That's like
yeah. They hot shot. I think Vince got an idea in his head, and he wanted to see where it went. And I think he just hot shotted it versus trying to think about, the long term.
Yeah. Well,
cool.
And to be fair, I can't blame Vince Russo on this because he wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there.
So
what about the worst version of Kevin Nash?
Oz
or Vinny?
Oz or Vinny?
Yeah.
Personality, but Oz he's a big dude in a cape that weighed like 100 pounds.
And poor Kevin. He had to have one of those old school trunks.
Yes.
To lug that sucker just everywhere, airport to airport.
Yeah.
Gate to gate. Just a poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him sympathy on that.
If he hadn't been 6'10" and 300 pounds, he couldn't have carried it.
We're going to get a running, guys. We're going to start talking about Kevin Nash's matches, and somebody wants to talk about him versus Bret Hart.
Oh.
Did Bret Hart get powerbombed to a table? Jackknife powerbomb?
Michael. Here he comes.
Why did that actually happen? I'm actually curious.
This is Michael.
I don't know that he ever powerbombed Bret. Did he?
I think he did.
I'd have to look.
What match do you want to talk about?
Bret Hart versus
Look at.
Kevin Nash.
Okay. Well, yeah. What about it?
Diesel.
Yeah, about these. Well, what about it did you like?
That he pulled the leg off.
Do you know who that was?
No.
That was Mad Dog Vachon. He pulled his
Who?
leg off and then he hit him with it, right?
Oh.
Who won that match?
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart won. Yeah. Was Diesel mad after?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he what?
What?
What were you gonna say? Did he what?
Did he still have his leg?
Yeah, they gave it back to him. They gave it back to him. Anything else to say about the match?
Mm.
You don't know? All right. Want to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Take some melatonin, okay?
Yeah.
Here, bring this downstairs.
My title.
No, just keep it there. Here, hold that.
Love you, buddy.
Keep it. Okay, thank you. All right. All right, Mr. Michael Gallagher III, ladies and gentlemen, MG3.
The better Gallagher. Okay.
Oh,
DeMar
Nice job.
Hamlin.
Mr. Gallagher III, are you the real Captain Charisma?
I am Captain Charisma.
I said MG. I'm MG2.
So I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna take a quick break if that's okay with you guys. I just want to get some water and just freshen up a little bit.
sure.
I'm gonna pause it. So I know that I love those Nash versus Hart matches too, but my favorite WWE matches was him and Shawn Michaels. The one at WrestleMania 11. I actually liked the one at WrestleMania 11, even though the crowd shit on it. And I thought his match with Shawn at Good in Your House was it the first In Your House where he fought Diesel?
But best friends,
the
better
fir-
enemies.
Yeah, good friends, better enemies.
Hey, you want to know
I
what
don't know if
that
it was the first one or not.
That was. I think that was the first one. But you know what that was? You know where that was located?
Where?
Someplace that isn't just full of corn and cows. Omaha, Nebraska, what it was called, the Quest Center.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, sir. I think Bryant Remza was there.
Oh, no kidding.
Shout out Bryant Remza.
Oh wow.
Brian, our fellow resident Shawn Michaels fan.
Was at that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Good Friends, Better Enemies was In Your House 7.
In Your House 7, I was way.
He was already in WCW by then, yeah.
Okay. It's okay. Michael Gallagher's usually long anyways.
Oh. Well, Jimmy, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Nothing usually is.
What about you guys? What are some of your favorite matches of Big Sexy or the Big Daddy Cool?
You know, this should be a drinking game every time you do that.
I think we'd all get our stomachs pumped.
You better have a
Like-
big glass.
We should have did that in San Antonio. That would have been funny. Every time we take a shot at Crown Apple.
Yep.
Favorite Kevin Nash match. I got a few. Hell in the Cell 2003. Vengeance against Triple H.
Mhm.
Global Heavyweight title.
Mhm.
That was really good.
Just before he blew his quad.
Yeah.
First one or second one?
Second, I think. Maybe first.
And then his little feud in TNA with Samoa Joe is pretty good.
That was one of Meltzer's. I was looking up top 10 Kevin Nash matches, and I read Meltzer's, and one of his was Samoa Joe versus Kevin Nash.
What do you give that? What do you give that rating?
I don't know what he gave the rating, but it was number 9 out of 10.
Probably pretty.
But back to moments. I just thought this for one moment. Back to moments real quick on Kevin Nash. Him doing commentary in TNA the night it was a show. I was like a good chunk of an impact in early '09 that Kevin Nash and Booker T were on commentary the entire majority of the broadcast, and just him as what was it, Chesterfield or Cheddarfield, something like that. It was just absolute gold, I think. That, yeah, just so it's really great.
Cool. Bobby, what are some of your favorite matches?
Oh, I liked his match with Shawn Michaels, as you mentioned. I think he had of course, a little bit of this predates my fandom, but I think he had some matches with Razor
Mhm.
in WWF before they left. But as far as during my fandom, of course, the Hostile Takeover match in '96 at Bash at the Beach was great. And anytime he tagged with Scott Hall, or when even when he later on when he tagged with DDP and they formed the Insiders,
Right.
those were some pretty good matches.
Nice.
But he's a big guy, so he's not. I mean, he's limited on moves, and his moveset is not tremendous like Dean Malenko and some of these others. But to watch him move in the ring when he was in his prime, it was neat to watch because he's just such a big guy, and all the moves were just really powerful moves, and the sidewalk slam and the power bomb and the jack, all that stuff. It just every move it looked like it meant something.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
then
AJ, what about you?
Two that come to mind are the In Your House Good Friends, Better Enemies match with Shawn Michaels. No holds barred. He was Shawn's first challenger when Shawn won the title. The split up of the two dudes with attitude, and the story going into that. And then I really like the Team NWO versus Team WCW War Games match where Sting, it was where Sting loyalties lie and all that. And Sting kind of coming in and asking Luger, do you believe me now, before walking off and letting the NWO win the match.
He was in the middle of everything.
He really was.
It seemed like it.
And then there's also one match I forgot to say that I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
Starrcade '98.
Oh, the
Against
Goldberg.
the Giant? Oh, the Goldberg. Yeah.
Goldberg.
I thought that match, for what it was good. It was believable. No one really crapped on it till afterwards. But so in the moment, it was a great match. It's just afterwards, people like the armchair quarterback, which
I didn't like it, but that was me. I didn't like a story.
it was believable. It was believable because Goldberg was a powerhouse.
Yeah, I think I think you needed the interference to
You needed to
justify the win.
screw him out of the title.
Well, and you had to bring Kevin and Scott back together too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe without the cattle prod though.
Yeah, maybe without the taser and the yellow shirt.
If you can find a better solution to screw him,
Right.
A chair,
Yeah.
well,
brass knuckles, the belt,
Goldberg's a freaking bull.
hold his leg down on the side of the ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many other ways you could have done that.
Bring Nick back.
But it was believable.
Fast count.
What is it? Scott Hall's going to start singing on the Mountie? What are we doing here, guys?
It was believable. I would defend Eric's booking on this.
Oh my goodness.
Nash and Eric. I'm just saying.
No. I said I would defend Eric for his booking. Like he let it happen.
Oh no, I don't disagree with you at all. I'm just saying it wasn't my cup of tea. That's all.
Fair.
What about I'm just gonna pop around the horn, really, like kind of one each guy. Fantasy booking. Who would have you liked to not? Now you think of it two ways. Who would have you liked to see Kevin Nash wrestle, or who would have you liked to see Scott Hall and Kevin Nash wrestle? We'll start with you, Jimmy.
Hulk Hogan.
They did.
That was a finger poke.
No,
Yeah.
they fought at Bash at the Beach.
No,
Yeah.
1-on-1.
Yeah,
Each.
Yeah.
The retirement match.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Kevin
99.
Nash.
Oh,
was
the
Kevin
finger
Nash.
poke. The finger poke was a great match. One of my favorite Kevin Nash matches.
Top five for sure.
There you go. There it is.
There it is.
No, Kevin Nash. No, I was talking about like 90. Did they face each other at 99, 98?
It was 99 to 2000.
Yeah.
It'd be 99 because 2000
That was
was
after the finger poke.
Yeah, finger poke was 99.
Mhm.
I said
January.
I actually would have done that January 4th show is what I'm trying to say. Sorry.
I know what you're talking about. No, but they actually did fight each other.
They
It
did,
was like it was a silly stipulation, but I mean, I think Hogan won.
in 98.
I don't know. I think it was like 99. I think it was later than that.
Yeah, because Wolfpack was pretty big in 98.
And I think Hogan was back in the red and yellow at that point as well.
Well, Hogan was Hollywood, I thought.
Not when they fought each other.
In
When they-
99?
I'm gonna look it up right now, real quick. But it was when Kevin Nash was like, it was a silly thing, like a retirement match / Kevin Nash was the president of the. I don't know. It was some silly stipulation that.
No.
You know what? We don't
Yeah,
have to
okay.
keep going.
And
Fantasy,
then,
fantasy booking, Kevin Nash
Thank you.
versus Stone Cold Steve Austin at Mania.
You know, and I actually had that listed on my list too, so that's a good call. I think it'll be a good one. What about you, Bobby? Who would you like to see in Nash or the Outsiders wrestle?
if I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna do a tag team, then I'm gonna go the Outsiders, and I'm gonna go with who would I go with? What about Arn and Tully?
Pure fantasy booking.
It is
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, you don't want to put them against, Ray and Dean Malenko. I mean, unless you had a trailer.
Is this any time? Well, this is at any time.
Yeah, this is anytime. Anytime you want it. Fantasy booking. Anybody you would ever want to see him wrestle.
Beer money.
But if I'm thinking singles, I would do Kevin Nash and Omos.
See, that's a good one. That's different.
Because they're big.
I never got
Said, I think.
the tag match. Scott and Kevin versus AMW or Beer Money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good one too. How about you, AJ?
If it's a singles match, I think him and Kevin Owens would pair well together.
Oh, I like that one too.
Tag match, I want to go Outsiders versus Rated RKO.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh,
Who's the
good
baby
one.
face? Who's the heel?
Edge and Randy. Yeah, that's good.
Kevin Nash, I would argue Nash and Hall were always faces. I mean, even though they were heels, they were always cool heels that nobody.
They were that tweener, but I had to get it from AJ's mouth.
Yeah.
Well, but I don't think Edge and Orton were ever actually faces. I think they were always heels.
Yeah.
At the time when they were together, you're right. At the time,
For the most part,
Yeah.
they were-
I was like,
Yeah, I mean, when they came back, when he came back, a couple of years ago, I mean, they had a little like the 5-minute reunion where they were faces, but that was it.
well, when Edge left, he was a baby face,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and so was Orton.
right. But I'm saying they weren't together, is what I'm saying.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
But what about a singles match for you, Adam?
Kevin Owens.
Oh, Kevin Owens. Right. What about you, Ben? I'm sure you've given a lot of thought to Kevin Nash's in fantasy booking.
Well, he's going to be looking up at the lights. I know that. I would say 95 Diesel versus 98 Kane, 1-on-1.
I like it.
There you go.
I just think physically both at their peaks about, in those versions. Tag team, Outsiders versus New Age Outlaws.
Oh.
That would have been a good one.
How about a handicap match? The Outsiders versus Vince Russo in a slaughter.
Oh.
Oh, Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy.
Hmm.
That's what you're doing to the segment, buddy. But I will say my little one was great. Was
About
Oh.
5 more minutes.
uh-oh.
5 more minutes.
Oh,
Hey, that's Sonny.
Jimmy,
You want-
Jimmy, if you gotta get going, you gotta get going. That's all right, buddy.
No.
He doesn't have
Yeah.
to. I just have.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got some fantasy booking going on a little bit.
Yeah, we're
Kevin Nash.
talking about who we would want to see Kevin Nash fight that he didn't fight in his career.
I don't know.
I would have liked to see him fight. I would have liked to see him and Hall fight the Rockers.
yeah, okay. I could see that working.
Because I think the Rockers did a good job fighting guys bigger than them, like the Twin Towers, and you know, I don't think a lot of people understand that Razor was like 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't small.
Yeah, he was massive.
Oh, those guys
Yeah.
are huge.
Bye, Sonny.
So that just happened.
That just happened. Cool. Thank you, James.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome. We got, I mean, look, we got Pondwater Dave, we got Sonny Ono. I mean, we're I don't know, man.
Hey, and we got Bobby.
And we got Bobby, who is
Come on.
a big deal. All right. So I think that's oh, and just, you know, one last one, because I think Kevin Nash is such an entertaining guy. What's your favorite movie or TV role that he did?
Punisher.
Punisher.
Mhm.
Super
I'd say
Shredder.
The Longest Yard.
Yep, that's mine too.
Either Super Shredder or Longest Yard.
Yeah.
When he kind of was like the eccentric guard.
Oh, he was great in that movie.
Why are you yelling at me? All I do is just show you care.
That was great.
Mhm.
Oh, Ben, you got some questions for us?
Yeah, let me just bring those up.
Any of them for me? If not, I gotta keep going.
All right. So Brad Stanton's up first.
No, hold on, Ben, hold on
Yep.
1 second. Jimmy, if you got to get going, let's give Jimmy a proper send off, my friend. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Were any of those questions towards me at all, or no?
Not directly, no.
Well, I love you all.
Thank you. Thanks, Sonny, for letting us.
Love you too, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks,
Yeah.
Sonny, for letting us do our podcast from their office. And
Yeah.
I'll be
you
back.
get home safe, man. You're right. You drive safe. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, and tomorrow I'll be on. For disclosure, we're recording the night before Money in the Bank this year, and I'll be driving back tomorrow and spending some time also with Bryant Lorenzo.
All right, that sounds awesome.
Very
Tell
good.
Brian we said hello.
I love you all, and I'll talk
Take
to y'all.
care,
Good
Jimmy.
to see you, Jimmy.
Thanks,
Take
James.
care. Love you, buddy.
Love you, bro.
All right, Ben, let's rip and roll.
All righty. So we've got Brad Stanton up first from the Kickout crew. And also, let's take a minute silence for his testicles after what happened at Top Guy Weekend. You didn't see the video?
Did you see the video, Mike?
I saw the video. I haven't listened to the audio yet.
Mhm.
Oh, so I'm
All
actually,
right.
I'm
So he
almost
wants to
like
know-
no, I'm sorry. I'm almost like you know, when you're almost uncomfortable watching something. That's kind of how I feel before I saw. So I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, all right. So he wants to know who was Nash's best feud.
I think him and Brett. For me, it's him and Brett.
Yep, same.
Yeah, it's Brett.
AJ?
Yeah. Brett or Sean. You know, guys that have good chemistry outside the ring that are good friends always seem to really put it on in the ring too.
Yeah. I think you can go either way and be right.
Yeah, for sure. Up next, Devin Dowling. What was Kevin Nash's greatest match?
Hostile takeover match.
I think Brett, him and Brett at the
Yeah.
Survivor Series for me.
Was that Survivor Series 95 or 94?
95.
95, yeah. That's... AJ, do you have a favorite?
Same as what Gallagher said. Gallagher kind of took my answer there.
Sorry, bro.
You can share.
He does that.
Mhm.
All right. Oh my God, enough. And I've only been on here like 10 minutes. You've put 30 of them up there.
Man, the joke is, so when Bobby, Jimmy, Michael, and I went to San Antonio the entire week, and all we was doing was
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was great.
so
Right.
it was just, yeah.
I tried to convince them
All right.
to all have NWO shirts on and walk in with NWO on, but instead we did the American Nightmare, and it looked really good.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Mr. Whitaker is up next. Where do you rank Nash as a performer? I mean, not many people put him on a Mount Rushmore, but
No.
top 10, top 20.
I think I would put him in the top 10 of the Attitude / NWO era, the Monday Night War era. I would put him in the top 10.
Yeah, just because he was so
Yep.
integral.
We got a whole bunch of run-ins.
Without those two guys jumping, you don't have the Attitude era.
You got to run it from your daughter, Bobby.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Run in to open the tea jar.
AJ,
So, like you said, no one really puts him in a Mount Rushmore. I would put him, if we were talking about giants in the business, I think he would go on a Mount Rushmore on that. But overall, probably top 15, top 20.
Nice.
all right. Mike also says, people say that the NWO would not have worked as good if it wasn't for Hogan. But what if Nash wasn't in it? Would it have still have worked? And who else could have replaced him?
I no.
He was the perfect guy for it.
He was,
Yeah.
and Hall and Nash had to be the first two guys.
They had to be together.
It would not have worked. I don't think it would have worked if Hogan was like the order they came in was perfect.
Yeah.
I don't think Mike Whitaker would not have worked if Kevin Nash was not in the end. It was if Nash wasn't in the NWO.
Now, when we sent these questions out, we weren't sure if we were doing Kevin Nash or Mick Foley. So Allison's question was, out of the two of them, who had the better hair and why is it Kevin Nash?
Definitely Kevin Nash.
So
Definitely.
Yeah.
Mick was
maybe the best hair ever.
He's definitely, yeah, I would argue. Eric Bischoff's got very nice head of hair. Our buddy Jimmy shaved it off.
It's on the floor in Huntsville now.
Yeah.
All right. Final question. If Pizza Hut made a Kevin Nash pizza, what would be on it?
It wouldn't be square.
It would not be anything like Little Caesars Detroit style.
I'm gonna go with an all meat.
Meat lovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
I see a lot of. I see like an everything pizza. Or like a
Supreme?
Supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably hand tossed.
So, what sauce?
Like hand tossed, not like.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, hand tossed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. With like I would say, I know he's from Detroit, but I could see Nash with a Chicago thin crust, Chicago type of pizza.
Yeah.
Not the deep dish,
Interesting.
thin crust.
Yeah, no square.
Yeah.
He won't do squares. He's already said that.
No.
And do you just call it the Big Daddy pizza or Big
Yeah,
Sexy
big,
or
big
Diesel?
sexy. Big sexy cool.
Sexy or the
Big
Yeah.
sexy cool.
cool daddy.
All right.
Cool.
So
Anything
that's
else,
it for
Ben?
the questions.
All
No.
right, cool. So, Bobby, we have a segment called What Dat Mean, in which we give Ben an American type of phrase, then he tries to say in an American accent, and Ben gives us an Australian phrase that we in turn tried to say in an Australian accent.
Okay.
So far, not one of us has been able to do an Australian accent, and Ben has been nailing the American accent. So we'll start with this. So the What Dat Mean phrase of the day is, you want to go first, Ben, or would you like us to go first?
You go first.
All right. So I got a statement. It's called "Not for Nothing." So it's like, dude, not for nothing, but you could have bought us dinner. So
Not for nothing, but you could have bought us dinner.
that
Nailed it. Nailed it.
That's all right.
Jeez.
was great.
All right. Okay. So yeah, you did that good, Gallagher, because you explained like what it meant as well. But with my phrase that I'm going to get you guys to do, I'll explain what it means after, if you don't figure it out. Okay, so it is, I went to Macca's the Savo.
I went to Macca's de Salvo.
Yep.
I went to Macca's de Salvo.
Okay. Not bad.
Right?
AJ?
Oh, Jesus.
I love it.
I went to Macca's de Savo. That sounded Spanish as hell.
Mine sounded Brooklyn as hell. Don't worry about it.
All right, Bobby, you're up.
Bobby,
I went to Macca's to Salvo.
Okay.
that was good.
The internet cut out a bit there. So, okay, so what that means, do you want to have a guess?
I mean, I want to give the sarcastic answer if it means he went somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. So Macca's is what we call McDonald's. And Arvo is short for afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So I went to McDonald's this afternoon.
Ah,
So I went to Macca's the Savo.
de Salvo. I went to Macca's de Salvo. I
We
still
should
can't
start
do that.
naming it. That's great.
Hey, there you go.
That's amazing.
That was good.
All right.
I like that.
I love it. And I can't believe we got 3 segments in a row from Mr. Ben Jones, the fastest and hottest rising segment in all of podcasting. Jonesy's Jokes.
Well, it's not actually. It's not today. Our friend Mike Whitaker from the Kick Out crew, he's been trying to get his own jokes onto his own podcast and they're turning him down. So I thought I'd throw him a bone and help him out a bit.
Let's do it.
So this is the Mike Whitaker version of Jonesy's Jokes. And after reading these, I can see why they don't let it on their podcast. All right. First one. How does cereal pay its bills?
In flakes?
With checks.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay. Okay.
okay. Yeah.
I had to
Whitaker.
Google that because we don't have that here.
Oh,
Um,
Have you ever had, so Ben, have
what's
you ever had Chex Mix?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
okay, next one. I just broke up with my mathematician girlfriend. She was obsessed with an X.
okay.
So
Al-
it's kind of like a algebra joke.
Thanks. Yeah.
Algebra.
Yeah. blame Whitaker for these ones.
But I like them.
Yeah, they're good. Roll on.
Don't encourage him. He might take over this segment. All right. Next one. I asked my date to meet me at the gym, but she never showed up. I guess the two of us aren't going to work out.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a bummer too.
Yeah.
I know. All right. Next one. Did you know that the first French fries weren't cooked in France? They were actually cooked in Greece.
Ah, that makes sense.
Oh, there it is.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's quite clever, that.
It makes dollars for
All right,
me.
last one. Yeah, exactly. All right, last one. I just found out that I'm colorblind. The news came out of the purple.
Oh, okay. Came out of the purple. All right.
John Whitaker.
So thanks, Mike Whitaker, for the submissions there. Yeah.
So Mike's Music Corner is trying to get off the ground, but if anybody would like to show me how to get the audio onto a Zoom call, please direct message me on Twitter at MikeGurr0905 because I have no idea.
Well, you might want to be careful that we don't want to get a copyright strike on YouTube.
What's that?
So we might want to be careful with that. We don't want to get a
Oh,
copyright strike.
absolutely. And I wouldn't do it on our show. I was doing a reaction video like everybody else does.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm going to recommend a song to everybody out there in our land. Call Off Your Dogs by Lake Street Dive. Listen to it, enjoy it. It's a nice jazzy disco type of song. So that is all we have for today's episode of the Zip Code Bros. We'd like to thank Bobby D for being on. My man.
Mhm.
Thanks, Bobby.
Bobby D.
Mhm.
Oh
Oh my God.
That's the last one.
No, it won't be. It won't be.
No, I promise. Hey. But what I would love to do is just kind of go around and let everybody, where can we find you, Adam?
For the personal stuff, on Twitter at the ARJ brand. For the coaching stuff, at Coach A Jefferson, also on Twitter. If you would like to give the team I coach on a follow, it is at Lakewood Football 1. So spell out the word football, and instead of 2 L's, there's just a 1 at the end of it. All of that's on Twitter, and Just Thoughts Pod on Twitter for Just One Man's Thoughts, which I know I said this 2 weeks ago. There will be a new episode out this Wednesday. Summer has been much crazier than I anticipated.
All right, thank you. Bobby, where can we find you?
On Twitter at bd.net, and then on Facebook under Bobby Duncan.
Anything you want to plug for your ham radio?
We just, I mean, if you're interested in doing it, just hit us up at w5paa.net. We'll steer you in the right direction. You take there's three levels of license. The first license gets you close in frequencies to talk on, like talking in town. And then you can also talk on satellites and various other basically just the close in stuff up to say 50 miles. And then you take another exam and you can talk all over the world. And then the third level, which is the top level, kind of like the top guys, is just you get a little bit of what they call the DX window, which is like Australia would be DX.
Okay.
So England would be DX. Anything that's outside the United States, right? Yep, 2 words for you. Yep. But you get a little slice of frequency there, and that's where a lot of the DX will hang out, and you can get you some really neat countries that way.
Cool.
But yeah, ARRL.
So Bobby,
Yes.
just a quick question about the ham radio stuff. So I've got some bacon in the fridge. Will that work?
No. Although you can transmit using water.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right, Ben, where can we find us?
So we are at Zip Code Bros on Twitter. And if you want to get me on Twitter, it's AFS Ben Jones.
Thank you. Thank you for us here on the show. Everybody have a great rest of your night. That's it.
All right.
All right.